let me bring in KJ Jacobs at WCNC in Charlotte. KJ, do you have any good news for me? Like, is it going to be any warmer here, comparatively speaking?
Well, James, I hate to say it, but the short answer is no. Unfortunately, it is not going to be warmer here. I mean, it is the first day of winter, so I'm just gonna fit somewhere in the middle for those of you who like the cold weather, and then those of you who aren't a fan of the cold weather. Well, I think we're just gonna have to put up with it for a little bit, at least through the weekend. So we'll start with this particular graphic here. I know a lot of folks wanted to see a white Christmas here in the Charlotte area. Not going to happen for us. However, there is that chance for some mixing to occur. You can see it there shaded in the pink. That does include the mountain area, some of the higher elevations. So that's that potential for tonight. By and large, most of us are going to be above freezing. It's just going to be a cold, yucky rain overnight into the first part of our day tomorrow. But in terms of the mix overnight in the mountains, because temperatures will be freezing at the surface, we could have a glaze and we could have some messy conditions early on. Um, and part of that is because of we that temperature profile at the surface with temperatures at 32. So we could have some icing out there. Not a lot, but it's something to be mindful of. Um, Guys, I'll take you through the current temperatures now for at least the area. 38 in Charlotte now, and it's drizzling out there. It's one of those type of nights that it's not heavy rain, but it's cold, and you have just a light shower, so it just makes it that much more miserable. 32 now in the mountains, in Boone, for instance, at 32, Jefferson as well. But this is radar. So right now at 9:24 Wednesday night. See, the rain isn't heavy, but if you couple that with the cold air in place, it's not a pleasant night to be out. Yeah, it's definitely hard to stay dry. But we talked about the coastal system. This is the rain that's coming from it, coming towards us now for tonight. It'll fill in overnight and becoming more widespread for tomorrow morning. Also, too, it could be heavy at times. In terms of any thunder, I do think that's just going to be about a rumble for us, if anything. By and large, I think the biggest situation is going to be what we get in the mountains in terms of wintry precipitation. So we'll keep an eye out for that. James, you mentioned the map across the country. So this is another look at that. You know, someone asked me today on a newscast, I think it was Vanessa on the show, talked about how will the storm impact travel. Well, it doesn't have to be our airport. You know, people traveling all over the country, and if they have delays, say Chicago or anywhere else, where they have the winter storm warnings, then that can certainly have an effect on travel locally and then other parts of the country, and then that's a ripple effect. But here at home, we just have a winter weather advisory in effect for our mountain areas for tonight through tomorrow afternoon until 1 p.m. So that's our small, excuse me, window for any winter precipitation. In terms of snowfall with it, not a lot. But we will have this system coming through overnight, pushing out. That's the low pressure system you see there. Then a cold front comes in. This is part two that we'll see moving in for Friday morning. And this one is a two-part because it doesn't have a lot of rain with it, but it will give another brief window for snow in the mountains. But once it clears out, this is going to drop those temperatures. This is that Arctic front we've been talking about for several days now. Well, it's finally going to come in, but the temperatures are going to hang around throughout the holiday weekend. So we have a breakdown of the temperatures, guys, if we as we have it here. So right now we have 7 a.m. on Friday morning in terms of the wind chills. That's your exposed skin to the cold air. 23 is that feels like temperature in Charlotte. Minus 14 in Boone. I felt minus 14 before. I think it was minus 15. I started my career in West Virginia, and I was out reporting in negative wind chills, and it just felt like my skin was like peeling off my face. Um, you can barely look in the direction of the wind. That's just how powerful it is. So I encourage anyone out in these conditions to a not spend a lot of time in the cold air, and also b make sure you have those layers on. Make sure you bundle up, and just so you can kind of limit your exposure to the cold and stay safe. In terms of Friday afternoon, we talked about the temperatures being the warmest the first part of the day, and then by the afternoon, it's going to get much colder. That's going to be the case too for the Charlotte area. By 4 p.m. Friday, will dry out, but it's going to be -18 as a wind chill. Temperatures, wind chills in Charlotte at 10 degrees, 14 in Monroe, surrounding areas. East of us, it's going to feel more like 21 degrees. So the story continues. Single digit wind chills by Saturday morning. We're at 0 degrees as a wind chill. So yeah, that's very cold. It can go either side of there. Earlier today, we were one above zero. But the latest update shows that we'll be right at zero for wind chill, -27 for Boone. So it just shows you that the data now is trending colder as we head closer towards the holiday weekend. So we'll see if that trend continues. The Christmas forecast, the Christmas Eve afternoon, this is not the low temperature. 32 is that temperature for Christmas Eve afternoon. The night before Christmas, I think all of us want to sort of cozy up and have some hot chocolate and be with family, perhaps watch the Polar Express or something. Um, this is that night to do it. It's going to be as cold as 16 degrees, not the wind chill, but the actual air temperature for Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day afternoon, the high is going to be 37 degrees. So that's just about 5 degrees above the freezing mark. And one last image to show you guys. If you think this Christmas is one of the coldest, then you're right. The coldest Christmases on record, 1983, we had a high of 22 degrees and a low of 4 degrees. Yeah, I think even this year, like previous years, 1969, a high of 34, for instance, and a low of 31. 31 doesn't seem so bad considering what we're up against this coming weekend. So I just say anybody who um, got plans, Christmas plans, like so many of you, do something inside. Get creative with the kids, and hopefully Santa will bring them something fun to play indoors.